welcome back to Just One Question, the 40 billionth edition, because we've been on lockdown forever, but occasionally the prisoner gets let out on furlough, and this is one of those moments because I get to meet with my dear friend, Michael Port. I wish it were in person. Michael is the co-founder and CEO of Heroic Public Speaking, which if I weren't running my own business, I'd be working for him because it's an awesome company. And when the business comes back, everybody should sign up for it and get started on their public speaking once again. Michael Port is the New York Times and Wall Street Journal bestselling author of Steal the Show. He's a heck of a public speaker himself. Welcome, Michael, to Just One Question. Check in for us, please. Tell us how you're doing.
Well, thank you. I feel like this is a game show. Just one question.
Get it right. Otherwise, yeah, you're
right. Otherwise, there's a trap door. I'm going to fall right through the floor.
Exactly.
I'm very fortunate. We've been able to move our programming online. It's not our first choice. We've got 10,000 square feet of training center that is just waiting for our students to come back. But fortunately, we do see light at the end of the tunnel, and we're very excited to get there. There's no doubt about that.
Amen to that. So just one question. Speaking of that light at the end of the tunnel, we have been changed by this. Humanity has been changed. Business has changed. You and I, in the same business of public speaking, have been changed and have seen many, many changes around us. When it starts to come back, how are we going to be different, really?
Well, I can answer that from a number of different perspectives, of course, but what I want to do is approach it from a speaker's perspective and a meeting planner's perspective. I think that there are or have been a lot of speakers who have been given opportunities to speak because they built a reputation off the stage, and when they go to speak, they often wing it. And, they can do a good job because they've got the gift of the gab, or they're charming, or the audience just wants to see them because they've got some name recognition. I predict, however, that when we come back, the speakers who are going to work the most and work the quickest are the ones that the meeting planners know can deliver reliably every single time. So as the events come back, there will be an enormous amount of demand. And I think that the best meeting planners will be competing for the best speakers. And so if you want to be in that category, I think you need to be able to be somebody who can deliver reliably every single time, which means no more winging it. I think those days,
amen, brother.
They'll come back, I'm sure, people will do it. They'll get away with it. But I really do think that the people who are best in class, who can deliver transformational, visionary keynotes are the ones who are going to work the most right at the beginning of the jumpstart back into big events.
Yeah, you're so right. I really like that insight because one of the things people have observed over and over again is that the pandemic has accelerated trends that were already in existence. And that's something that you and I have both noticed about the public speaking business in the last 4 or 5 years. The competition has kept increasing. The number of speakers, people wanting to get into that world, of course, has increased because they see the allure of it. Travel the world, get paid tons of money, speak in fascinating places to wonderful people.
Yeah.
Then the pandemic hit, but what it's done is, or what it will do, is accelerate that trend. I think you're absolutely right. And when it comes back, the standards will be higher than ever, and the folks who can absolutely nail it will thrive. To your point, so yeah. I love that insight.
And if I may add,
yeah.
I think that it's very, very difficult to break into this business or to grow in this business just by doing direct outreach to meeting planners or to bureaus, and raise your hand and say, hey, you should really consider me because of X. I think that's a really tough row to hoe.
Mm-hmm.
And what we know is that the speakers who work the most are the speakers who produce the most referrals based on their actual work. And what we call them are stage side leads. My colleague, and of course your colleague as well, Andrew Davis, and I just finished a book that's coming out 2021 this year called The Referable Speaker. And our premise is that if you want to grow a speaking business exponentially, you need to be able to deliver a speech that is a referable speech, so that when somebody sees it, they say, wow, I need that speaker on my stage. I really don't care what it costs, but that person is a visionary transformational speaker. And so the speech you give is what is going to book you more gigs, rather than the marketing you do. And when you have the floodgates opening back up, because the pandemic, gets controlled, everybody's going to be marketing to the meeting planners.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be inundated with marketing messages, most of which they'll ignore. And so they will book the speakers that they've seen or have been told are the speakers that they need to book because somebody else has seen them. So, the speeches you give will get you the speeches that you want. And that's why you need to be able to deliver reliably every single time.
Yeah, we'll come back to you when that book is out or almost out, and we'll talk about that on the blog, so we can dig more into that, because it's a really important insight, and I think it's going to be a great book. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Michael Port, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being on Just One Question. You win the prize, which is you get to go back to your computer and spend the rest of the day in quarantine. Have a great day. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you so much, my friend.